All right, we'll get back to Prop 139, but for now, we're going to send it out to the Arizona Democrats. Ruben Gallego up in the results right now. He is at the podium and he's addressing the crowd. Let's listen in.
The way that I did, the son of immigrants, I would never thought I would make it this far. To be here on this stage tonight. And while we're still waiting for results to come in, I believe that when all those ballots are counted and every Arizona's vote is counted, a poor Latino boy who grew up sleeping on the floor will be headed to the floor of the United States Senate. The first Latino senator in Arizona history. My name is Ruben Gallego. I'm a husband, a congressman, and a Marine. I'm a proud Arizonan and a proud father. I first want to thank my wife, Sydney. We started this campaign 22 months ago and have a 16-month-old daughter. So that tells you everything you need to know about the last 2 years, and now it has not been easy. Thank you, babe. She was with me for every step of the way, and I love you. My sisters, Lisa and Laura, are here, taking care of my son, Michael. We're missing my other sister, Alex, tonight, who's at home, ready to have a baby any day now. My mom, where are you at? There you go. My mom, hey mom. She raised us, all four of us alone, on a secretary's salary. And like many moms across the country, she did not have it easy. But she gave us everything she could. She worked night and day, all to give us a shot at success. Only in America, only in America, only in America can 4 children raised by an immigrant single mom grow up to become a teacher, a doctor, a businesswoman, and soon to be a senator. I wouldn't be here on this stage tonight if it wasn't for her. Gracias, mamá. As a kid, I slept on the floor of my living room so that my sisters can have beds. And I worked every job I could to help the family get by. Meat packing, construction, making pizzas, making hot dogs, you name it. And as a matter of fact, I think my boss at my hot dog stand's actually here, Steve Zerlentes. Steve, where are you at? Steve was a great mentor to me at a time when I didn't have any male mentors. Well, he taught me how to do a proper Chicago-style hot dog, no ketchup, and still let me study for all my exams and do my homework while still making hot dogs. I still have my first suit that I ever owned that my Uncle Al gave, who could not be here today. He gave it to me because when I went to college, I couldn't afford to buy a new suit. So he gave me one of his. When I got to college, I saw all the kids were happy because they were just happy to be there, happy to be at Harvard. I was happy because I finally got a bed. In college, one of my beds was cleaning the bathrooms of fellow Harvard students, scrubbing the toilets of the kids I had to see the next day. But I did it all proudly, because I believed that if I worked hard and followed the rules, even a poor kid would succeed in America. That's America. Because of that, I decided I wanted to serve my country. I wanted to serve my country, the country that gave my family a chance to live the American dream, the greatest country in the world. So I enlisted in the infantry of the United States Marine Corps. Hoorah! I know there's some out there. I had the honor of fighting alongside my brothers in Iraq in Lima Company 325, assigned to Al-Anbar, Iraq. They called us Lucky Lima at first, but unfortunately, eventually our luck ran out. Our company saw some of the hardest days of the war. And those were tough days. But the fight for my brothers was always worth it. And so is this fight for Arizona. We had a mantra on this campaign: go everywhere and talk to everyone, and that's exactly what we did. We didn't take one vote for granted. For many candidates, Latinos and Native American voters are the afterthought, but they were part of our outreach from day one, and we worked to earn every vote. And we didn't write off our Republican brothers and sisters either. For 22 months, I've traveled all around this state, and the thing I learned is that we have so much in common. Because whether you're a Democrat, Republican, or independent, we all want the same thing: a better life for our kids, and to give our kids a better future. It's just that simple. And that's exactly why I'm here. I believe in the American dream, and I want everyone else to have the same opportunity to make it that I had. I'm here tonight because I believe women should also be able to make their own decisions about their own bodies. I'm here because costs are still too high. And I understand how hard it is to work just to bring home enough to pay the bills, to pay the rent, and maybe, just maybe, save up a little. I understand the dignity of work, of trying to put 40, 60, 80 hours together to try and make a life for your kids. But there are too many people in Washington, D.C. who don't understand that kind of hard work and who don't actually respect that work. They don't understand what it means to actually struggle every day and still believe that the next day is going to be better. Look, it looks like this race won't be called tonight, but one result is already coming through and clear. We fought for Arizona. And because of that, we are going to win. Even though our race isn't quite over yet, I still want to thank all Arizonans who supported me, Democrats, Republicans, and Independents. And to those who didn't, I want you to know that regardless of who you voted for today, I will stand up and fight for you. As hard as I fought to get out of poverty, as hard as I fight now for my family, as hard as I fought in the Marine Corps, I will be fighting for you in Washington, D.C. To my family, my mom, my sisters, my aunts, my cousins, and they're all here. We're a big Latino family. I will always have your back because you always had my back. And to Sydney, Michael, Isla, who always gave me a reason to fight, I will keep fighting. To my Lima Company Marines, the men I patrolled with in Iraq, the men I went to the hardest days of war with and came back to a country that had forgotten us. John, Andy, and Cheston, who are here tonight, I love you, brothers. Semper Fi, and I'll always have your back. To my campaign team, to all the volunteers and our supporters, to the unions and the community groups who stood and fought alongside us the whole time, thank you. So for the veterans out there suffering from PTSD, for the single moms working 2 jobs and raising 3 kids, for the dads who have to miss that bedtime with their kids to work that overnight shift, and for the kid sleeping on the floor tonight in Arizona, dreaming of a better future, this is for you. Gracias, Arizona.
Almost sounds like an early victory speech of sorts.
That's about as close as you can get to a victory speech without making a victory speech.
You might have to wait a few days for that.
Yeah.
But still a remarkable story when you think about it. Ruben Gallego, congressman since 2014 in the South Phoenix district, low voter turnout, majority Hispanic district, not known statewide, his story kind of known. Kari Lake, TV news anchor, already ran statewide in the governor's race, 100% name recognition, huge name recognition nationwide. And here Ruben Gallego appears to be on the brink of victory in this U.S. Senate race. You heard him say he'll be the first Latino senator from Arizona, a remarkable achievement. He outraised Kari Lake. He has blanketed the airways with commercials. I've known him since even before he got into the legislature many years ago. He has come a long, long way to get to this point.
Much more confident with his constituents, much more confident in front of a microphone, is able to very concisely and passionately get his message across.
And I want to add one thing. He's been criticized for being a progressive who moved to the center. And you know what? Yeah, he did that. You can call him guilty, but this is how you win elections in Arizona in particular if you're a Democrat. Kyrsten Sinema showed the way back in 2018. Mark Kelly, who I believe was already pretty much in the center when he started his political career just a few years ago, now a U.S. Senator having won 2 races. That's his model. And I have to add, one more striking fact about this, if indeed Ruben Gallego does become Arizona's next U.S. Senator, this will be the 4th consecutive Senate defeat in 6 years for Republicans. Think about that. Before 2018, Democrats hadn't won a race for the Senate in about 30 years.
Wow.
Wow.
And
wow.
As long as we're talking about Ruben Gallego and his story, he is one of the congressmen that was involved in the bipartisan deal to try to come up with comprehensive immigration reform, I believe. If he goes to the Senate, how likely are we to see something in the works pretty early on?
That's really hard to say. We don't know who the president's going to be. We don't know yet whether Democrats are going to retain control of the Senate. We don't know yet whether Republicans are going to retain control of the House. All those 3 balls are in the air right now. Until we know where they land, how they land, we won't know what the future of any legislation.
And right now, Republicans are up to potentially 2 seats in the Senate.
Okay, and they're losing 1 here in Arizona. Well, actually, the Siscomanni seat in southern Arizona,
right.
They're losing that by 10 points. Here in the Valley, Amish Shah, Democrat, is up over David Schweikert, I think by about a point. Another tight race. And you know what? Can I add this? This is a good time to remind folks that we have a new recount rule in Arizona. And we have a lot of close races tonight that I think are going to be close for a while. They will likely go to a recount under a new law that requires a recount if the margin, the victory margin, is 0.5% or less. And you might wonder, what would that have meant back in 2020? Well, it would have meant the presidential race between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, which Joe Biden won by 0.3%, that would have gone to a recount and potentially held up the certification of the next president, because recounts do take time. I know folks are wondering, when are we going to get the results? In several of these races we're seeing tonight, it is likely it might be a while longer. Recounts could take 2 weeks or so. So brace yourself.
Lots of moving parts.